Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Waterloo with the Nine Basketball here at Gateway Center Arena in Atlanta. And sitting beside me here, Jordin Canada, starting point guard for the Dream. Jordin, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get into some fun film breakdown.
Okay.
I know I like to do, I know you like to do, but you also have to do because,
Yeah.
you play for the Dream and how big Carl is on the film. But before we do that, I want to set the stage a little bit, okay? You're year 9, talked to Powell a couple days ago. She said, that's my year 9 vet right there. Obviously, Seattle, Los Angeles, Atlanta. Do you feel like that vet, or do you still feel like that kid out of UCLA?
A little bit of both, I do feel, because I have been in this league for 9 years, I do consider myself obviously a vet, and just the experience that I've had being on championship teams and just what it takes to get back there. And I also feel like I still feel like I'm young, like I still feel like I just got into the league and I still have so much more left in me. So it feels like a little bit of both.
I mean, you obviously haven't lost a step. We see the burst. Like I always say, it's between you, Kelsey Mitchell, Kennedy Carter, JJ Quinterly, and Michaela, Malaysia Fulwiley, excuse me, is just the fastest players in the league. So we heard that the other day in the Indiana game. It's just, I want to see these two in a foot race. Do you feel like still like, hey, I haven't lost the speed. I'm still at the peak of my career right now?
Yeah, of course. I do feel like that's one of my strengths that I try to bring every single game is my speed. I know that I'm very fast. But like you said, the players that you mentioned are really quick and fast as well. So I like to think I'm up there. Yeah.
And you have to set that tempo. We know that's what coach always speaks, especially out of the transition. He wants it to. And you just have a litany of players surrounding you here. You have Bree Jones, who's on her way back. We have multi-time All-Star Angel Reese. We have multi-time All-Star Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, 6th Player of the Year, Naz Hillman. You are the engine that kind of runs this team. You are kind of equipped to facilitate, but also score. You mentioned that the other day. You're working with a coach who, you have to pick your spots. When's your time to go? When's your time to facilitate? And we're going to be able to see that today. But whenever you have that responsibility on your shoulders, how does that feel just to be able to play with all that talent, knowing that hey, I'm right there with them and I kind of set the tone for our team?
Yeah, to be honest, this is probably like the first time that I've had to be in this type of position of playing with such talented players around me. I kind of got that experience in Seattle a little bit, playing with Stewie, Jewel, Alicia Clark, and such an amazing, great Sue. But I think it was different just because I was a rookie and I was young and I was coming off the bench. So it was a lot for me to learn. And I think now in this position, being here 9 years and understanding my strengths and my role now with this team, it's a different role that I've had to be in that I haven't been in before, but it's a rewarding reward, to be honest. I love to facilitate. I love to pass to my teammates and just getting them the ball in the right spots for them to just, all they got to do is shoot and knock it down. So it's been fun to play with this group of girls and knowing that we all have each other's back and we're very unselfish. But I think for me, it obviously starts with me being able to facilitate and be aggressive, both offensively and defensively.
And you mentioned the name there, Sue Bird. And I was chatting with your communications manager before we got in here, and you're in rarefied air right now. I know how much you look up to Sue also, but 50 assists, 2 turnovers over your last 5 games is just kind of bananas when you think about it. Were you even aware of that?
I was not aware of that. Liam actually just told me before we walked in here. I think that is a crazy statistic, but I think that's just a testament to me just reading the floor really well and being patient with the ball, not forcing anything. I think that's something that I have grown into this year, talked about with the coaches, like how can I get my assist to turnover ratio to be really high, and just slowing the game down for myself. And that's honestly due to watching a lot of film with Cam and Carl and seeing the spots of where I can lessen my turnovers and where I can get more where I can get more assists. I'm sorry.
We're about to get into the film, but you mentioned the assist to turnover ratio. You lead the league in that this year. Is that something that you just kind of came in as like, that's a goal of mine this year that you came in, not necessarily leading the league in assist to turnover, but just kind of set my teammates up and just limit the mistakes as much as possible?
No, that actually was one of my goals this year that we set to lead the league in assist to turnover ratio. And that's just due to, watching the film and seeing last year where I was forcing a lot of things that weren't good passes or trying to creep in passes that weren't there. And I think this year was the focus of just making the right play every single possession. And I mean, it's working out so far. So just want to continue doing what I've been doing. But that is one of my goals. Yes.
Well, you're doing it, and let's watch some film.
All
That sounds
right.
good to you.
Yes.
So first, we're going to kick it off with a game last year at home against the Golden State Valkyries. As you see here, drive to the hole. Bree deflects it. Coming up here, pushing the pace and transition like we know.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Nas. There's a little communication right there for the backdoor cut for the layup. So kind of walk me through that play, JC. Was that kind of, when that moment hits, whenever you're seeing Nas kind of cut up behind you there, is that something that you guys work on? You know exactly where she's going to be? Or is that kind of like a, hey, we made eye contact real quick, she knows where to go to find the gap?
So I'm reading the defense right now. So I know that I think her name is Carla.
Carla Late.
Yeah, I know she's not coming off a leash. So I know that leash is not going to be open. And because I draw so much attention with the post player and the guard, I know that Nas is immediately going to be open because they're both paying attention to me. No one's guarding Nas. So I knew that, just told her to cut to the basket. She would have a wide open layup. So just reading the defense and seeing if I have two people on me, I know somebody's open, and Nas happen to be open in that position.
Okay, makes total sense. Set her up. We're going to go back to last year again here against Phoenix. A missed shot. This one, I'm going to get into some detail with you.
Okay.
But we have Leash kind of coming up with Nas as the trailer. Kicks it over to you, and poor Lexi Held, you have her in a blender here. But you didn't make a move. I want to come back to that. So kick it around. We spread it. We have good spacing here. Then we see Shatori at the low block. You drive in for the layup. So I want to look at this a little bit here.
Yeah.
So here's what I see as somebody who watches basketball, but obviously can't play. We see the spacing over here. We see Shatori come here on the low block, set the screen for you. You're in the corner right here.
Right.
At this point, we see all the spacing that we have. We have three players up here. Is the idea here like, hey, as soon as Shatori clears out, gets Sammy Wood come out of there, I have a lane to be able to go baseline here to take Lexi?
Yeah, I think me and Cam always talking about driving into space, and that happened to be the space at the time because everybody was, high and on the weak side and even strong side. So there's nowhere to drive but baseline. So I knew that once Tori was coming up, there's nobody on the weak side for help because Mia's a shooter. Nas has been really good at shooting three. Obviously, no one's going to come off of leash. And Shatori's strong side, so you can't really necessarily help in that situation. So I knew that the defender that was guarding me, I knew that if all I had to do was just make one move and go, that I was able to get to the basket. So as soon as Tori moves, I do a little jab step. And then also trying to be more physical as well, because I can't get that layup if I'm not using my body and my physicality to create that space for the layup.
You even see the defender there pointing like, hey, where's the help? Where's the help defense right there?
Yeah.
So yeah, as you said, you do draw the contact here. So I do want to go back to a part of this play whenever she gets it out to you to the wing. Right here, you have just Lexi. Like I said, you have that gap right there. Was there any part of you, as soon as you crossed her up there, you're like, oh man, okay, I spun her around, but you look down and you see Alyssa Thomas there? Is that kind of like the thought, like, okay, I can't really drive there because I'm going to get shut down? Or is there a thought of, hey, I can drive, kick it over to Tori in the corner?
I think in this possession, it's more so about there's no space, even though I created space for myself to drive, whether to be shoot or drive, you always have to think about what's behind my defender. So I know that 9 times out of 10 that I can always create space for myself against my defender, but what's happening behind. So I know that there's no space to drive in the paint. And I also don't want to force it. I don't want to over dribble. Me and Cam talked about that a lot. If I don't see an opportunity to get to the paint or attack to move the ball, it was better to just move it. And knowing that if we move it from side to side, the defense is going to have to shift. And at some point, I might get the ball back on the other side, and then that'll be my opportunity to attack like I did.
Is that something that Cam and Carl talk about a lot, is like the early possessions in the shot clock where you don't want to kind of like force it that early unless you absolutely have it? Is that what it is? And like want to go through your second and third motion?
Yeah, like my job is to make sure I push the pace as much as possible. If we can get something early, great. But if not, move the ball, because a lot of times you don't want to just over dribble, wasting the shot clock, and you haven't gotten any movement. Our job is to move the defense from side to side and create opportunities where someone can drive or get an open shot. So if I don't have anything, my job is just to move it quickly. And then I also have players on this team and teammates that can create as well. Like I don't necessarily always have to be the person to create. So we can just move it, have somebody create, and then the ball might come back to me for a shot or another opportunity to drive. But yeah, again, in this case, I knew I didn't have an opportunity to do anything, so I just wanted to get the ball out and then clear out and maybe have Nas work with someone else. And then if I get it back on the other side, then I'll have an opportunity to attack.
And that's something you're doing, setting up everybody. You're responsible for about 33% of the team's points this year. I didn't know if you knew that or not. In a game a couple of nights ago that you just had against Toronto Tempo, in the third quarter, the Dream scored 22 points. You're responsible for 20 of them. So either scoring or assisting. So you're doing the job to the level that they want you to do for sure. So we'll go on to the next one here. This is the defensive one. So I want you to keep an eye on you right here. Behind Kiki Iriafen to get the steal. So it cuts off there, just a very quick steal. As we know, you are just one of the elite thieves this year. Can we say that? Is that okay?
We can say that. We can say that.
Yeah, trailing only your teammate Ryan Howard for steals per game. So in this play here, was the idea to kind of hide behind Kiki as she's going, to use her as a screen so that you're able to kind of like get that pass and anticipating? Was it just right place, right time?
I think it's acting on instincts and reading Suge's eyes right here. So I know Kiki is going to the basket, and it is my job to cover Kiki until Bree gets back. But as I'm reading Suge's eyes and I see her dribbling, I also know Sykes is on the other side. And so, of course, she is one of the prominent players for Washington at the time. Mm-hmm. So I knew I had to play in between two in both. And because the way Suge is driving, I can tell that she's not necessarily looking at Kiki right here. She's looking at Slim. I can already tell. So just trying to bait it.
Right here.
I can see it there, yeah. So I know that the angle that she has is not a good pass for Kiki and it's only for Slim. So I'm reading her and knowing that at the certain point when she does pass it, I'm able to go and steal it instead of if I were to get dragged all the way to Kiki, that's a wide open 3 for Slim or attacking for her. So I wanted to make sure that I was kind of playing in between two, but just reading her eyes and knowing that she was trying to go to Slim, just kind of waiting for the right moment to bait and then steal it.
So it's kind of like playing like if it was a 2-on-1 fast break, how you're trying to play the middle there and just anticipate and hoping to make the right read there?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes total sense. Fun defensive one. We have another offensive one. We're going to go back to, I believe this was last year against the Washington Mystics, early part of the season. We have Powell bringing it up. A little spacing here. This is one of my favorite passes that you've made right here. I don't know if you know what it is, just watching it right now. But nice little pick and roll and behind the back feed to Bree. Walk me through that, JC. So obviously it's a play set up in the half court. You have the pick and roll right there. Is it just seeing how low the defender is dropping and knowing that Bree's going to be there on the lower block, and you see her through that gap right there, and that's how you're anticipating where she's going to be?
Yeah, well, Bree sets a really great screen. She gets a hit on Jade, which allows me to get downhill. And then from there, it's kind of cat and mouse with Kiki. She's either going to have to stop me or she's going to have to go back to Bree. And so I'm dribbling just enough, and I think that hesitation, so if you go back just a little bit, so coming off the screen right here, a little pause for a second, allows Jade to freeze for a second and allows Kiki to freeze for a second. And then I can continue to go downhill. And then at this point, I know Bree's going to be open, but I don't have an angle to pass it to her just yet. And she's far away from the basket, and I don't want to give Bree the ball that early because then it's going to allow Sonia Citron to help a little bit more. So I want to engage Kiki just a tad bit more as I'm coming downhill. And at this point, when I get deep in the paint, she's going to have to commit. And it looks like I'm going for a layup, which is what I want her to think. And then Bree's going to be open at the last second. And I knew that was going to happen just because Bree, honestly, started that with the great screen and allowed me to get downhill so that we can play 2-on-1.
Is a secondary read there the flare screen that Nas is setting for Alicia in the corner, just in case if Sonia sinks down, helps out a little bit, or if Aaliyah comes over, then you're able to have Alicia in the corner? Is that the secondary?
So honestly, the first look is for me to be aggressive and get downhill, and the second option is Bree if Kiki comes like she did. But again, that is another read as well. If that would be open if Kiki was able to recover to Bree. and then there's no option for Bree, and there's no option for me. And Nas always sets great screens on the backside, so I know Leash would be open. But in this moment, because I was able to get downhill, it was a 2-on-1 between me and Bree versus Kiki. So I knew that that was going to be one of the options that were going to be open.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. We will go to the next one here, about halfway through here. I believe this is it. So this is one where they score. It's one of my favorite plays of the year, and I'm so sorry to do that to you.
It's okay.
But I have a feeling you know what I'm showing,
I have
right?
a feeling what this one is.
All right. It's the non-stop ball screens by Alyssa Thomas.
Yes.
And just having you just nonstop go back and forth, go back and forth. What is that like for a defender? Obviously, they hit the three-pointer, it happens, but what else are you supposed to do in that situation?
I mean, yeah, it was still really a tough shot for her, and sometimes players are gonna make tough shots. I mean, we're all professionals. We're here for a reason, so you just have to chalk it up to good offense. But I think here, what I wanted to do was just ball pressure as much as possible, make her uncomfortable as much as possible. And I know that's one of my strengths as well, is being able to make people uncomfortable. So I wanted to, just have her uncomfortable and dribbling. And it's also taking time off the clock. Now, again, she does make a really tough shot, and those are things that we're going to have to settle for because 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, that's going to be really hard to maintain of making those types of shots. So I just wanted to just cause as much pressure and annoyance as I could. But again, sometimes players are going to make those shots, and you just have to be okay with it.
They are. It was fun to watch from an observer's point of view. So it looked like it was very annoying to try to guard. But we'll go later on in that game, and this is to kind of give the Dream the go-ahead bucket. So you're coming down here. You have Kiana Williams on you. I'm going to pause it here. We have Rye, we have Angel up the top, we have Izzy down low. It looks like they're going to set a double screen for her. Mm-hmm. I see your eyes right here reading. It looks like they're reading Alyssa Thomas for what she's doing. Because over here we have Leash in the corner. We know this defender isn't going to leave her, like you said. So as soon as her head turns here, is it kind of like, hey, there's going to be no help side here. I'm going to be able to drive to the hole?
Well, actually, I hate to, give our information up, but this is actually one of our plays for me. So we know that if we have a shooter in the corner, we know they're not going to help. So all the space is to the right side of the floor. So our job, or Ryan, Angel, and Izzy's job, is to occupy the defense on the weak side and act like there's going to be action on this side. That way there is no help when I do drive. Okay. My job is to pretend like there's action going on this side, and my job is to touch the middle of the floor, knowing that I can get back to the space that's on the right side of the floor. So in this case, we called this particular play, I'm not going to say what it is, but we called this particular play because, again, I know that I can create space for myself and I can create opportunities for myself to get to the paint. So I'm pretending like I'm seeing what's going on over here, and because the way the game has been going, Ryan has been going off, Angel's been going off, I know that I was going to be able to get downhill, and I just need the defender to look like there's action on this side. And then I'm also pointing that way too, just to engage the defender of having to look that way. And the moment that she does look that way, I know that I can turn the corner and use my quickness to get to the basket. End
up being the go-ahead bucket for you all, and we see the and one here, of course, too. JC hitting the ground, go up, get the win. Okay, we talked about surgical strikes. We know that's something you guys like. I spoke to Angel about this play. I spoke to you about this play. Again, one of the plays I've never seen before. You see people swipe down with the ball, but never pop it up like that. Yeah. It goes right to you, and you look ahead and see Angel there. Talked to Dan Padover. He said this was the moment in the game that kind of just flipped the switch in the momentum for you all. Is that something you typically see? Like, it's usually people just swatting down the ball, right? Or does that count as a surgical strike as well, just kind of picking your spots?
Yeah, it does count as a surgical strike. And honestly, as defenders, we are actually taught to swipe up because for refs, when you see somebody swipe down, you're more likely to hit somebody on the arm, and they're more likely to call a foul versus when you're swiping up. It's easier for the ref to see. And Angel has long arms, and this player has the ball right in front of her face. I mean, it's kind of hard not to swipe up versus swiping down, especially where Angel's hands are. So I knew the moment that I didn't see Angel swipe the ball up, but I do remember trying to switch on to Caleb McBride, and I knew that once the ball was in the air, all I had to do was block out Caleb McBride and make sure I got the ball, and then giving it up to Angel and rewarding her for such a great play.
It's one of my favorite plays to watch. It's just so much fun. Like Angel said, you can't put a cookie in front of me and expect me not to take it.
Exactly.
So we're going to go back to 2023 here, your first year here with the Dream, 2024, excuse me. And this is just another really fun play. I don't want to call it a circus shot, but it is a shot that you're able to take to the hole, and I don't know how you got it to land, to be honest with you. I'd love to hear you explain it to me if this is what you plan to do, but Tina sets the screen for you. Hezi, baseline, up, under, and right in at the as the shot clock expired.
I'm just going to chalk that up to luck, to be honest. I knew the shot clock was going down, and I only had, 5 seconds at this point to attack. And then I just had to get it up there. But I, as a kid, or even sometimes in practice, I always work on like touches around the rim. So spinning the ball off the backboard or just finding different ways to get it into the basket. But I will chalk it up to that possession was just pure luck.
It was a lot of fun to watch, as was this. We're going to fast forward to this year. Home opener against the Aces, 83-82 right now. Asia at the top working against Angel. She pivots and dribbles off her foot, a rare mistake for Angel. But there you are to scoop it up. A fun Euro reverse for you here, JC. Is that another one that you've worked on a lot, or is it just kind of the positioning that Chelsea had on you as you were kind of going there where you're like, hey, the left side's open there, that's my only chance to kind of, that gives me the highest probability to score here?
Yeah, so I know Chelsea's really good at, deflecting passes and even deflecting the ball or getting tips on the ball. And so I knew at this point it was between me and her. And I just wanted to create space for myself. So when I did the Euro, I made sure the ball was on the opposite side so she wasn't able to deflect it. I felt like if I would have went up on the right side where she was, she probably would have been able to, tip the ball. But I wanted to shift her hips, and she wasn't able to get the ball. Just making sure that I'm keeping the ball on the opposite side of her so that way she's not able to tip the ball out. Or even if she did, it would be an automatic foul. And just trying to create space for me to get to the glass and finish. And that's been part of one of my warm-ups as well, working with Cam before games, just making sure I have different touches around the rim, again, finishing with different types of layups. And attacking the basket and seeing different ways that I can finish.
Between that shot and the Powell corner three, I don't know which one was louder that night, but that's probably the loudest I've ever heard out of that arena. So it was fantastic to see.
The fans have been really great this season. Every time we've played in State Farm, their energy is just unmatched. So,
and we're going to wrap it up here with another State Farm one. I told you before this that I had 9 clips, but then this one happened. I went on Synergy, found it, and I was like, okay, we got to do this because my jaw just dropped. So I cut it so that we see Angel kick it up to you. Jolie Alamand is out there to make it tough defensively. Then there's a loose ball, and you get it behind the back to Rye. Was that intentional? Was that accidental? Walk me through what happened there, JC.
Yeah, so in this moment, so if we go back just a little bit more, when Angel throws the ball up and I see Alamand, I already know she's coming. So I want to make sure that I can get the ball first. So I also want to create an opportunity for when she does miss it and I do grab it, there's an advantage. But because I didn't grab it all the way and I saw Marina at this point. I know Ryan's open because Alamand is behind me. So I know at this point she's probably hoping that Marina's going to get it. So because I don't have control over it, my job is I know where Ryan is because I saw her previously as I was trying to catch the ball. I know where she's at. So soon as I see my eyes on the ball and I see Marina coming, I know I'm not going to have an opportunity to just grab it. So I know that the only opportunity is to try and get it behind my back and get it to Ryan, and she was in the perfect spot for her to knock down a 3.
Is that one of those plays there that like you break somebody's ankles, you have to score on that? Is that one of those like, Rye, please hit the shot because this will be so much better if you hit this instead of missing it here?
Oh well, yeah, of course. But I know Ryan is a bucket getter, and she was hot too, so I knew she was going to be able to make it.
Awesome. JC, thank you so much for this. This was fun. I like getting to your head a little bit, so appreciate it. Can't wait to watch you the rest of the way, and hopefully see you at the All-Star game as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, Jordin.